From Pokemon to Subnautica, my guest tonight on the show is known for being a fun and hyped streamer. He's a wonderful person and one of the nicest people I've come across on the platform. All the way from the land down under, Australia, XylianPlays, or also known as Xylian. Welcome to tonight's episode of Twitch Tea Time.
Hey, how's it going?
I have to ask you first, how are you doing today?
Yeah, we're doing all right. Surviving the harsh heat in the summer here for Australia. So,
Yeah, I can imagine.
We're getting through it.
I can imagine. So in this space, we're going to talk about everything from gaming to Twitch to social media life. The past year, 2023, plans for 2024, as well as some mental health topics and more. So grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy. We're going to start with the first segment, which is called The Road to Twitch and Gaming. There's a question that's been on my mind for a bit. Where did the name Xylian come from?
Oh, yeah, interesting question. It's one of those ones that it was a weird idea that I just had when I was back in school for a story. And it kind of just came out of nowhere. I was like, I need a character in the story. I need a cool name that has a robotic kind of feel to it. And I just made it up on the spot, and it kind of just stuck for a heap of stuff through, once you have your avatar for gaming and stuff, you want to make a cool name for that. And for me, it was Xbox Live. So I end up, setting it up for Xbox Live and sticking with that. And then it kind of just stuck throughout other games as well. And yeah, I just got all the way to here on that same name. Seemed kind of fit.
That's cool. But can you tell us about how you discovered Twitch, how you decided to become a streamer, and how you took off? I know there's lore behind that.
Oh, I discovered Twitch quite a while ago, but it definitely has been a whole journey from actually starting to stream, because it took a couple of attempts to get into it and actually try and stick with it for a long period of time. So for me, I think it was 2 or 3 attempts of watching and then trying to get it started and being what idea do I have for a channel and what do I want to do with it all. And it wasn't until the third one where I actually committed to it. And I was I told myself I was a year. That's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to do 5 days a week of streaming, try and aim for that every single week, turn on the camera, commit to it, stay disciplined, and keep going. And kind of just that third time, it kind of just worked. And and then basically through meeting all the cool people that we did in the first month and a half, it was just my friends hanging out. And then as it progressed, we kind of met new streamers, and we got rated, and we went and rated other people. And the people that I've met through that has just tenfold increased my enjoyment of what the kind of streaming space has. So yeah, it's been really cool. And next couple of attempts, but
so do you remember what was the first game you ever streamed?
Oh, I don't know exactly what it would have been, other than Pokemon. So I did the first one probably ever was, I think, Pokemon Soul Silver.
I was gonna ask you which installment.
And yeah, exactly. And Soul Silver was my favorite game. So for me, it was trying Twitch. I was well, I'm obviously gonna play one of my favorite games, so I can just kind of play that through and have lots to talk about. And it was one of those. It was the second attempt I tried to stream properly. And it worked for 2 weeks, and then I kind of got into a rut with it. I didn't really know where to go, and then it fell off again. But then it took a bit of a break, and then came back, and I think it was Pokemon again. Honestly,
okay.
I think it was Scarlet and Violet. I think I would come in with Scarlet and Violet and went for
it is a fun thing, but for people who don't know what Nuzlocks are, can you explain it a little bit, please?
Yeah, of course. So a Nuzlocke is basically an extra difficulty level that is added on by the player for the Pokemon games. Essentially, what you do is you create a kind of a life cycle for Pokemon. So if they faint, they actually die completely, and they don't actually they can't be revived. So it's basically a high risk, high reward sort of setting. You only get to catch certain Pokemon in certain areas, one per zone and or route. And you can basically go through the game with all of these limiting factors that make it a much more intense experience and a much more interesting one for the viewers as well, because there's a lot more tension in the battles. So But yeah, the main one, and then and the like cream of the crop like feature with it is you have to name all of the Pokemon so that you get more attached to them and you want to protect them even more. So
yeah, yeah.
It's scary.
So, since we're talking about Twitch, what are your limits regarding your streams? Like, what would piss you off? What's the big no-no? What is allowed? What isn't on your channel?
Yeah, I think for me, like the important thing in the chat, especially for chatters and stuff, is basically keeping the vibe of the stream rolling, right? Like I try to, as you said, I try to keep pretty high energy and try to keep it, really positive and keep the ball kind of rolling on the fun of the stream, right? I do try to make them kind of like a show, right? Like kind of like a game show or like a TV show where you keep rolling through and keep it entertaining the whole time.
Nice wording. I've never seen someone put like phrase or use the word game show. I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's basically keeping chat in line with that and trying to help them enhance the stream because they're part of the stream as well, right? So if anybody's digging their heels in and holding that back, it's a little bit of a downer. So you try and encourage those people to either change the way that they're approaching it a little bit, or basically acknowledge it and be
or maybe step away if we can say it nicely. Step away. Yeah.
Exactly. Worst case, exactly. Which has happened occasionally where people they want to come in and have a completely different conversation with what's happening and maybe like whether it's like a really politically charged or emotionally charged thing that isn't relevant to the stream. It's it can be a little bit difficult. Guiding those people.
How do you deal with trolls?
So at the moment we have a pretty much like kind of no troll acceptance in the chat. It's essentially for fun. If it enhances and it helps, you let it run and you see where it goes. Yeah,
but of course, in some horror games like allow trolling, which is the friendly kind of trolling, which is, for example, like if you use Dixper, you can like troll the streamer and kill him. Yes, that's the kind.
Yep, you've got the scares and things like that. I agree. Yep. So we do try and and that's totally working within the game show kind of rule set. So it's totally fine for that. But then when it comes to people coming in and just like spamming copy pastas or spamming redeems and things, it's like I usually acknowledge it, personally first. Or the chatters usually kind of understand that as well. I think we've got a really cool community on that. And then worst case, it's kind of like, okay, time out if necessary, and then obviously if necessary further on down the track, but it escalates as required.
So what games have you finished already?
I've got a whole random list of games. A lot of them are very Nintendo centric. So we played a bit of Pokemon. We played a few like random Zelda games. So being like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and also Tears of the Kingdom. Basically a lot of the channel is revolved around that at the moment. But recently we went through Final Fantasy VII. I just finished that recently, and it was amazing. And I think for me, part of the whole process and kind of the theme for the streams is playing new games outside of my usual wheelhouse. And trying new experiences, right? So we've been trying to see what's out there and enjoy those.
So what do you define gaming to be for you?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Gaming is, for me, like a lot of movies and things, there is an escapist element to it where it's like you get a lot of escapism from going into those worlds and experiencing those completely different outlooks on life and basically just like experiences they provide for you. I also like the challenge of like puzzles and the skill of gaming you can get out of that. So I think for me it's a bit of an exploration of worlds and experiences outside of what reality has to offer. And on top of that, another medium to experience new stories and new life lessons and kind of that sort of thing. So I don't know if that's a bit of a vague answer, but I think for me gaming is a very complex medium with a ton of facets that allow you to explore a bit of a escapist mentality.
Yeah. So the final question in the segment is, what games you'd never see yourself playing, and what are 2 of your favorite games ever?
Oh, nice. Games that I don't see myself playing. There are a few kind of like cozy, quiet games that don't really like mesh with my energy sometimes a lot. So I find it difficult to get into those. Maybe like some games like Disney Dreamlight Valley, those sorts of style or genre. And they don't really work for me, but I know that there's a massive audience for those and people absolutely adore those games. So it's by no means to say that they're any lesser than, but not a kind of game that meshes with me super well. And honestly, I thought that JRPGs would be that as well, but I mean, Final Fantasy has convinced me otherwise. So we'll see if I end up kind of opening my eyes to the new genre. Hopefully, something a little bit different.
For JRPGs, I agree. I don't like these much, but Kingdom Hearts was a different experience for me.
That's it, right? Exactly. Games that have that different experience that kind of has the core element of the game or the genre that you don't really mesh with so well. But then, for some reason, they've added that extra little element on top that completely revolutionizes it and gives you the ability to experience in a way that you didn't even think was possible. So, and I honestly, Final Fantasy VII did the same thing for me. So, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy VII, absolutely are in that category.
Nice.
And then 2 of my favorite games. It's another question that, like, it depends a little bit on the day. I'm not gonna lie. There are a couple of games that are like I reminisce on and I really, really enjoy. I said that, Pokemon Soul Silver is one of the ones. I played Silver as a kid. It was one of the first kind of video games that I played knowing it was a video game. And that was incredible. Soul Silver, I think, is the how would I describe it? The upgrade. The ultimate upgrade, exactly. The ultimate upgrade to an amazing game. So I think Soul Silver's up there for me as well. And then I kind of have to, another gaming great that I think I just got really stuck into and got me into kind of committing to video games, I guess, was Halo, actually. Halo. So Halo 1, obviously Halo 2 as well is really good, and Halo 3. But I think Halo 1 was one of the first games that I experienced even like as a big video game without just being a kid and not really thinking about it much, because there was Pokemon and there was everything else that I kind of just played along with, and that was the cool thing at school, and all the other kids told me to play it and stuff. But Halo was one of the first things that really gripped me and brought me into the world of shooters and other video games. So I got really addicted to those games and went deep into that. The ability to play with friends is a huge one.
Okay, so we're gonna go into a new segment right now. So the next segment, I switched them up a bit. So we're gonna play the mini game before the pop quiz.
Sure.
I've added a fun little mini game before we get intense and serious in the next 2 categories. In this game, it's kind of like love, marry, kill. So it's called play, delete, or uninstall. Delete is like delete from existence. Uninstall is play once and then never play again. And play is like play forever.
Right. So, sorry, play, uninstall, delete. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Battlefield.
Oh, that's a tough one. I feel like for me, delete. Oh, this is going to get me in trouble, but I think delete Call of Duty.
I agree.
I think uninstall Battlefield.
Okay,
and
fair
then
enough.
Play Counter-Strike. I think that's the order that I have to go with, because I think Call of Duty for me has kind of lost its heart, lost its character. I think Battlefield had a lot to offer, and it does have a really cool experience. And then I think CS is just the classic. I think you got to stick with that. The competitive nature is fun. The game design is cool, and like it's just again simplistic, but I think excels really well at delivering exactly what it aims to. You know?
I mean, CS was the mother of these things.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. So you can't do anything, but
yeah, of course.
I'd feel bad if I was uninstalling or deleting CS. Yeah.
Just a disclaimer: it's gonna get harder and harder. So.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay. So the next one are Apex, PUBG or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and Valorant.
Ooh. Okay. So for me, I haven't actually played too much Valorant, so it's unfortunate for you, but it's an easy delete for me, which is Valorant, probably delete. I've played a little bit.
I played neither of these games, so.
Oh really? Yeah. I think for me, PUBG is going to sit in the uninstall category. I think I had a really good time with it when it was really, really big and we were getting into the battle royale sort of scene. But I think Apex has to take the play because Apex it kind of excels in all of those facets. It enhances it. It's the ultimate enhancement, right?
Yeah.
The ultimate upgrade.
Yeah.
So I think Apex probably takes the cake on the play there. Yeah.
Doom, Quake, and Diablo, and that includes the whole franchise.
Oh, Doom, Quake, Diablo.
Yeah.
I think for me, it'll be the play option. I think has to be Diablo. I am a massive, massive fan of Diablo. I played a lot of Diablo 3 through stream. I planned to do a lot of Diablo 2, but we kind of just missed it in that break. But Diablo 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. I think it is one of the best dungeon crawler experiences. I think it nails that genre.
Diablo 3 for me, so that's how I came across the franchise. Yeah.
It's a pretty common one, and I think Diablo 3 does well for it. I think Diablo 2 is what works specifically for my tastes. I think with Diablo it has a little bit more of a fast-paced action where you have to attack multiple times to get the damage in, and I really like that with attack speed increases and things. Where I think Diablo was a lot of crit focus, a lot of big hits that did a lot of damage. I like a lot of little hits that do a lot of little damage, and you have to build up. So I think Diablo 2 works a little bit better for that kind of approach, which happens to be a taste difference. But I know a lot of people who absolutely adore Diablo for sure. I think uninstall. I think Doom is a really good experience to play, all the way through the game. You play it, you beat it, you do it on the hardest difficulty, and you have a really good time getting really good at Doom and enjoying the music and the gritty kind of heavy gameplay. And I think it's really, really good. I think Doom has to get a little bit of an acknowledgement there. So I think it's going to be in the uninstall only because I can't put it in play. And then that leaves, I guess, uninstall for delete. That'll leave Quake because I think Quake is cool. I think it was really good when I was a lot younger and when I was getting into a little bit of the shooter scene. But I think its time has kind of passed in that sense, and we've got bigger and better things that I think work better for me these days. Again, because it's personal preference, but
Okay, so here's the serious question: Pokemon, Pal World, and Temtem.
Oh my god. Okay. Pal World's been a lot of fun lately. Pal World has been a lot of fun lately.
I haven't been playing anything else, honestly.
Yeah. It's good. It's surprisingly well done. It is a weird amalgamation of a lot of different games. We all can acknowledge the similarities.
Yeah, I just call it Valheim on steroids for some reason.
It is. Yep, Valheim on steroids. Mine's the Arc, Genshin, Pokemon kind of blend. I think those are the three games that kind of hit the pillars of what Pal World is built on. Yeah. But I want to say, for me, I think I've got to stick with my Pokemon roots. I can't pass up on Pokemon being in the play because I do play Pokemon a lot. I have a Pokemon tattoo. I have basically all of the collectible Pokeballs that you can get. I've got a collection of those, and I think for me, I don't think Pal World's ever going to get to that level for me. Obviously, with the nostalgia influencing it, and with the staying power of Pokemon, I think it just has to slightly edge out Pal World. But honestly, in terms of fun, Pal World has been a ton of fun. It is impressive. So I think it'll also stick in the uninstall. I think it'll stay there. happily and maybe compete for the play position one day with a few updates and see how far it goes in the next few years for sure.
Yep.
And then it was Temtem. I think is process of elimination. I think we got to go for the delete on that.
Yeah, same. I didn't like the process of Temtem because like the economy is a bit harsh. Like you don't know where you're going. There is no sense of direction. Right. I get lost a lot on the map, and so that's a harsh experience.
Yeah, I mean, do you enjoy the PAL world, like what that has to deliver compared to Pokemon?
I love Pokemon to death. Like I'm a Pokemon nerd, and like Psyduck, Mudsdale, and Shelgon are three of my favorite Pokemons. I always like in Violet and in Sword. Since I have these two, I replace my starters with Mudsdale.
No. I have some friends who have favorite Pokemon like that do the exact same thing. Yeah, see, I'm a bit of a starter simp. I like what you got, you give it at the beginning, and then I've kind of stuck with that because most of the time, my favorite Pokemon are legendaries, so I can't get those at the beginning. But it'd be kind of weird starting a Pokemon game with Lugia, right? But no, Mudsdale's a very good choice for a starter as well. It's cool. There's not enough love for the other types, you know.
I have one of them at level 100.
Nice, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Naturally, train it up yourself.
Yeah. And I had one. What's it called? Something with like it looks like it has a knife on its head, and it's an upgrade from Pawnyard. It's like
Bisharp.
Bisharp. I have one that's been gifted to me. It's a level 100, so it's been helping me in raids as a thank you gift for me for helping someone.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. It's so nice. The Pokemon community is so damn nice on Twitch. It is crazy. Playing through Scarlet and Violet, I've never, because as a kid, I didn't really have many friends who had Pokemon as well, or at least the other games, so I didn't get to trade with them very much. I didn't get to get completed Pokedex as a kid.
Lately, I've been getting into the trading area because I regret not having Pokemon Bank since I have like all the Nintendo DSs except the original one.
Totally.
I don't have the 3D. I lost my 2D like years ago.
No,
but it's fine.
Yeah, it does happen. It happens.
Yeah,
but no, Pokemon Bank keeps it alive. It's awesome.
Yeah, I wish I had that. I wish I knew about it earlier. But well, there are some legendaries I need. For example, like Blitzel. Now it's in the DLC. I needed Deoxys. Yeah,
Deoxys is one that I carried over from like I think the one that I have at the moment is carried over from, is it Alpha Sapphire maybe? I think it's Alpha Sapphire because
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are two games I want to play.
Yeah, they're really good. I've heard a lot of good things. It's one of those ones that it's the only generation I haven't finished, but I do love a lot of the Pokemon designs from those games.
Oh yeah, and especially the Dark Lore in it. Wow.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, Necrozma's lore and like everything else with the Ultra Beast. It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
So the next question is The Sims, Disney Dreamlight Valley, and Palia.
Oh, okay. 3 games that I have actually not played very much. I've only played a little bit of The Sims when I was younger. I haven't really gone back to it. I know there's people obsessed with Sims these days who buy their 4090s and love The Sims on that. But no, it's I think. Oh, that's a really hard one. I do like a bit of, like, I'm not a big Disney fan in general. Like, I enjoy Disney a lot, but I wouldn't say I'm like, you know, a Disney person. But as a kid, I obviously grew up with it. So you have all of those fond memories of the original Disney movies. Lion King and Tarzan was a big influence. Musically, Tarzan was an amazing influence.
I mean, to me, my favorite Disney princess is Maleficent, so...
Yo! Very, very good choice. Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, villains can even be princes and princesses in their own terms.
Yeah. Yep.
So
can be villains sometimes. The princesses can be villains.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I mean it's a fallen princess, so.
Yeah. I think honestly, that's a tough one because I think for me, I wouldn't even choose one of the classic Disney princesses. I think I'd go for someone like Elsa because I like the music for Frozen so much.
Oh god.
I know. It's a weird pick, but I'm like, when it comes to an actual like princess, when I think of the word princess, I'm like, man, but Elsa kind of fit with the music, with the like drip that she has. That or oh god, I'm completely blanking on the name, but from Aladdin.
Jasmine?
Yeah, Yasmin from Aladdin. That is my otherwise, like if I want a classical pick,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, now we're gonna go into the horror side. So Visage, Madison, and Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yo, oh my god, okay. I am so tempted to delete Visage because it's so freaking scary to me, because I am terrified of that game. We played it on stream, and my god, it is the scariest game I've ever played. Full stop, hands down. It scared the absolute pants off me. And yeah, but honestly, I think that's got to put it in the play position for me. I want to delete it from my mind and from the world. No, I think it's one of the best horror experiences I've had in gaming, because it did so well to scare me. So I think it's going to have to be play for Visage. I think Five Nights at Freddy's, I mean, I think a lot of people meme it to hell, and I think a lot of people have negative opinions of Five Nights at Freddy's. I think
Five Nights at Freddy's to me sounds like an exotic adult movie name. I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. See it at the video store in the back section, behind a curtain.
Yeah.
Yep. But no, I think I've enjoyed the Five Nights at Freddy's games. We've still got a few to go through. I've still got a few of the later ones to go through. So I've played through like 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I want to experience the others. I think for me,
I'm sure you're gonna love Security Breach. 100%.
Yes. Everybody's been telling me to get Security Breach, so I'm like, yes, I will get that, and I'm gonna give the people what they want. They want that, and I got to do it, and it sounds like a lot of fun as well. So
yeah,
yeah, and I think that'll probably be my play. My uninstall. Thank you. Because I think for me, Five Nights at Freddy's is you play through, you enjoy it, and then you're ready to move on to the next one. And it's been that for me. Maybe once I hit Security Breach, I'll change that to a play, but I think, yeah, at the moment uninstall, and then Madison coming at the end. It's on the list. Haven't actually played it, but I'm scared.
Yeah,
gotta put it in delete for now.
So yeah. So now we're going to the zombie horror genre. So Dead Island, Left 4 Dead, and Dying Light.
Ooh, okay. Can you say them again? I just need to like, because there's so many similar words.
Yeah, Dead Island, Left 4 Dead, and Dying Light.
So, oh my god, that's actually a tough one, because I do quite like the zombie genre. I do quite like the different elements that you can get from zombies, as for movies, for games. So yeah, I think Dying Light's pretty cool. Dead Island, Left 4 Dead, that's tough. I think Dead Island is gonna have to go into my delete option, because I think the only reason is because
both of them.
I really enjoyed, and Riptide, because I played Riptide as well. For me, Dead Island was really cool. Unfortunately for me, Riptide didn't quite hit the mark. I think for me it was cool, interesting. I loved what it did for the genre, for that, zombie exploration genre, and I think Dead Island had to walk so that Dying Light could run, literally. And I think that's why for me it sits at the back of the pack in the delete option, only because the games that we got going forward enhance that. I think something like Left 4 Dead gives you a lot more fun and like arcadey kind of feel. And I think that's a tough one between the last two categories. Dying Light, Left 4 Dead, going into player install. I think Left 4 Dead was such a good experience with friends, and when it came out, I was at uni, and when it got big, I was at uni, and we had heaps of friends that were playing it together on a LAN. Those nights spent going through that game over and over and over. I think Left 4 Dead is going to have to sit in the play option.
Okay.
Because of the fond memories, good experiences, and that would leave Dying Light in the middle, because it's a really good game. I really enjoyed the first one. The second one didn't grip me as much, but I think it was still a lot of the good stuff that first gave us. But yeah, I think that's my kind of final placement for those in terms of my experiences with them.
Okay, so it's gonna get like tougher and tougher. So now we have Subnautica, we have Raft, and we have Rust.
Oh, okay. This one actually might be a little bit easier for me, specifically because of my gaming experiences.
Yeah.
So, Subnautica was one that we played on stream that ended up absolutely like kicking off. Subnautica, I had friends telling me to play it for years, like literally since it came out. They said that it was the best game they've ever played. It was the best like survival crafting game, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, we'll see how it goes. I'll get around to it eventually, and eventually it was on stream, and yeah, we played through it. It was incredible. I had a really good time with it. Whether it was the positive influence of being on stream and having, the reaction from chat and people helping me out to keep the experience really fluid and moving, that really enhanced it. And I think that just made the game incredible for me. Maybe that helped with Final Fantasy recently as well, but Subnautica, it was awesome. And I think it was because I was streaming it that it made it so good, and the quality of the game also assisted that.
Yeah.
So I think that's the easy play for me. When it comes to Rust and what was the third one?
Raft and Rust.
Rust and Raft. Yeah. Raft, one that I didn't really play much, and Rust, I kind of pinged off. We played it a little bit at uni. It was hilarious. We had all the jokes. We played it for a weekend, and then it was kind of just, yep. That was pretty much it. So I think it'll fall into the place of Rust being in the uninstall category, and then Raft at the end in the delete, just because I never really experienced too much Raft. But I have some friends who swear by it, so respect to them, but yeah.
I mean, I haven't answered this one yet, so I'll say probably Subnautica, because I've had enough of it. Like, I played it a lot before, so probably in the delete. And then hold on, Rust is in the delete, Subnautica is in the uninstall, and then Raft I'd play. Nice. Okay, so Dead Space, Resident Evil, and The Evil Within.
Oh, damn. Because the Resident Evil series has actually started to climb on my radar recently, because it's been, the remake was incredible. I played the original 4 ages ago, and but Dead Space remake was really good as well. Ooh. I think I got to give the props to the absolute quality that was the Resident Evil 4 remake, and the fact that I have so many plans to play more of those games within that series. I think it's got to go in the play. I think Dead Space deserves the play almost like just as much, but I think got to jump lightly down to get a Dead Space, and I think it's going to sit in the uninstall. And then Evil Within, I think Evil Within just, it didn't work for me. It didn't quite hit that kind of like engaging mark that brings me in. The sci-fi horror from Dead Space was awesome. Yeah. The like zombie horror from Resident Evil is just, it's a formula at this point. It's well practiced. It's almost rehearsed for them. So it's done really, really well. So I think Evil Within just doesn't quite stand up to the other two, and has to sit in my delete. Yeah. Have you played all 3 of them yourself as well? Or?
Evil Within, I played the first one and I struggled, and I uninstalled it. I played the second one and I haven't finished it yet. Resident Evil, I haven't dabbled with it because just because. And Dead Space, I have them. I haven't started it. No, I'm not easily scared. I'm just startled. I'm not scared. I mean, I put slasher movies and I just fall asleep.
No way. Oh, I can't do that. I am terrified. I'm sitting there like, hands in front of my face with like split fingers. It's
So funny story is that, remember Halloween Kills? I think it came out in 2021.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah. So my friends, we were like 4 people. My best friend and his sister, and his sister's best friend. So we were all going to the movies and like to watch it. They were like all screaming and stuff, and I was like clapping. I'm like, get him, kill him. everybody was
You're
like,
one of those.
yeah, everybody
Yeah.
was like looking at me like, what? Look at this lunatic.
No, it's amazing. That's funny. It's great to watch horror movies with those people because they totally
Slashers.
break the ice.
Slashers,
And it's
yeah.
especially slashers. Yeah, my housemate is
Yeah.
kind of like that, where he's very brave. So if I'm ever gonna watch a horror movie, I would much rather watch it with him, so that we can chat, and like he's gonna be a lot more of like that rock that can keep me safe, so that I can get through the horror movie, and then it's all okay. Which, yeah, it sounds like you're one of those people as well, and I reckon we could watch horror movies together. But alone,
I did do a few slasher streams every now and then in my Discord.
Yep.
But I plan on doing like more because I need to finish the
Nice.
Scream series.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Scream is a classic. I scared the crap out of me as a kid. A little bit of trauma as a kid from those, but Alien was the same, and now I still love Alien games and movies. So it still works.
Yeah. So I skipped a question here. Phasmophobia.
Oh yeah, sure.
Demonologist or Ghost Watchers?
Ooh, the only one I've played is Phasmophobia. Demonologist, that's a hard word to say, but Demonologist is on the list. I think, for me, I'm expecting Demonologist to be the best of the bunch.
Yeah.
Mostly because it looks like it has some really, really cool mechanics in the game that are gonna be scary and gonna scare the absolute pants off me. But Phasmophobia is really, really good for what it is. It defined like kind of that genre, like not the horror genre by any means, but the ghost hunting genre. It's kind of the
supernatural genre, yeah.
The supernatural, yes. So I reckon, I think Phasmophobia in the play. I think the uninstall is probably Demonologist because I really, really want to play that. And then Ghost Hunters, was it?
Ghost Watchers.
Probably Ghost Watchers. Haven't played it, unfortunately, so into the delete bin it is.
Yeah, no, for me, I would delete Phasmophobia from everybody's minds with a heartbeat.
I would. Any reason, or like?
I would too repetitive, too like
fair.
Expected. Like, okay, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this. Demonologist gets me at like unattended, so I would play that over and over and over again in a heartbeat.
Nice. Okay.
And Ghost Watchers,
for it.
I played it once and then like it didn't ring a bell for me, so it's gonna go in the uninstall.
Okay, yeah, fair.
And the final question is Cyberpunk 2077, GTA, and Saints Row.
Yeah. Oh, that's a cool one because like GTA is like again one of those pillars in gaming that you can't deny. The like just the size and the scope and the relevance. But honestly, Cyberpunk is so cool. Oh, that's so tough because I love this. I love the Cyberpunk world. I play a bit of D&D, and there's a Cyberpunk tabletop game that is very much in line with what D&D kind of provides. And that Cyberpunk tabletop game is so fun. Oh, but GTA is my childhood, man. It's the gaming childhood. I think.
Yeah. Same.
San Andreas is one of the best games. I think it's one of the best games ever made. And GTA 5 is really good. 4 was it wasn't quite as fun as San Andreas.
4 is my favorite actually because it's like very dark, very ooky spooky.
Yeah,
I have it. I'm looking at it right now and it's like on sale on Steam for like $6. So I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah. Do it. Oh my god. Because the stories in it, I will pay. The stories in 4, very, very good. The betrayals, on point. Those are some betrayals for the lifetime. But I think position wise, I think I'll have to land on GTA as the play because I think it's just too good. It's too big. I've got so many fond memories in so many different games. Cyberpunk, shout out to the amazing tabletop game and the amazing aesthetic. I think it's got a lot to go. I think the world of Cyberpunk has a lot more to get from. There's some good TV shows in that kind of like world. There's the Edge Runners anime is amazing. So I got to acknowledge that, but it's going to sit in the uninstall only because of what it's up against.
Yeah.
And then Saints Row, absolutely wild ride, absolutely stupid and fun. Can't deny that it's a silly experience, but I think it's again only because of what it's up against. Sits in the delete.
So for me, it would be like uninstall or actually uninstall GTA because I've played a shit ton of it and I'm like
so much of it. Yeah.
And play Saints Row in a heartbeat and just delete Cyberpunk.
Really? Oh, you never got into the cyberpunk
I don't like first person games.
Oh, and that would definitely kind of like have you ping off it.
Yeah.
It is very much in there. I would recommend, if you like the aesthetic, you like the world, the anime, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, really good, worth a watch if you like your anime.
I do.
And if you don't like your anime too much, then Altered Carbon is not quite cyberpunk, but it's definitely got the same kind of like story elements, the dark and gritty world, the not caring about the average person, the mega corporations, the rich rule the world. Altered Carbon is really good as well. The first season, don't worry about any other season.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, now we're gonna go into like a lightning round / pop quiz. It's called lightning round, of course. So, do you mind telling me and the listeners what's your daily routine? Like something you always like to do, has become a regular thing, not necessarily when you wake up, but like during the day.
Totally. During the day, I think one of the big ones for me is I've recently getting back into the gym. I've been trying to keep really, really diligent on that and committed to it. So gym is a big one. I think for me recently, planners are also a big thing. Writing down either the to-do list or having a monthly planner. I think gym and monthly planner have been like my like saviors in terms of organization. And I think all the things that I get to enjoy, they are like built on a foundation of those things. So I think those are the important ones.
Yeah. So what's your favorite comfort food?
Comfort food? Oh, I can't drink them anymore, but it is my favorite thing ever. And it is the Baskin & Robbins. It's like a $10 or $11 chocolate thick shake. Comes with 4 scoops of ice cream. It is incredible. They mix it perfectly. They have the right amount of milk to the right amount of ice cream to the right ratio.
Oh my God.
Incredible. It's my comfort.
I can imagine
on my birthday,
that.
I get that, a burger, and I'm happy. I'm satisfied.
Oh my God. So here's my favorite question in all of my life. If you ever were to be a creature, an object, whether mobile or like not mobile, real or fictional, what would you be and why?
That's such an interesting question. I've never had prompted to me before. I love that. That is really cool. That's actually something I've never thought. I feel like I've had all of these like weird conversations at uni where you have like, or you're like a couple of drinks in and and
it's kind of like D&D, like actually like if you choose a fictional character, imagine like you're playing D&D and such. So
yeah, or you want to be a superhero and you want to be Superman or Batman or Spider-Man. But then inanimate objects and things as well. I never even considered the concept.
Funny thing is, I would be, as an inanimate object, I would be a cactus. And as a fictional creature, I would be like a Unipegasus, like a unicorn with wings.
Nice.
Yeah,
totally. I think such an interesting one. My mind went straight to, for an inanimate object, I think my mind went straight to like something in space, like a planetary body. Like, I feel like I'd want to know what it's like to be like a sun or like a black hole or something.
Oh, wow.
Or a neutron star. I think what would be really cool is being a neutron star. I don't know what the experience would be, because I assume that we're like projecting our like consciousness into it.
Yeah.
I think for me, something like a neutron star would be an absolutely incredible, like, just place to be in the universe and not just be completely obliterated, right?
Yeah.
It might be really painful, I don't know, but yeah. And then in terms of a fantasy like creature or character, I think my favorite superhero is like Spider-Man, and I reckon it would be absolutely incredible to be able to shoot webs, and even Miles Morales Spider-Man, I think, has got some really cool powers. I think that would be amazing to be able to turn invisible, lightning powers. And
I wouldn't agree because I'm more of a DC fan. So
okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
Don't
worry about it.
Who's your favorite DC character?
Funny enough, it's the Joker.
Oh, Joker's a good call, but no, Joker is iconic as well. I think for me, I feel like off the top of my head, Joker is
yeah.
the pick. I adore the Dark Knight movies. The Dark Knight movie. And the character of the Joker does it kind of supersedes or surpasses, a lot of the other stories in DC where it has such a cool chaotic element. It requires, for me, I think it requires Batman to be present to have a really good Joker story, but the foil is just, second to none in superhero stories. Yeah. So I totally see you there. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your biggest pet peeve?
Ooh. Pet peeve, interesting one. I think for me, I have like a good answer for this, but it's not coming to mind like cleanly. I think for me, it is kind of like truth to yourself and people who are like fake. I think that's a really big one for me where, and it's kind of ironic to say as like a Twitch streamer and people question, whether what you're doing is real the whole time and whether you're just putting on a mask and a character. But for me, like with Twitch streaming, it is quite literally me without the filters on. I think that's the big one where I get to dial everything to 10. Sometimes it goes to 11, but I think for me, Twitch streaming is like one of those things where I get to be my, completely true self, have a really good time, and it's that positive spin on exactly who I am, with a little bit of energy. And sometimes, you gotta put the energy on for the start of the stream. But by that time, I'm in that flow state. It feels completely natural. And I think when people don't be true to themselves, I think it really hurts kind of them as a person. It hurts the people around them. I think it's really important to be truthful, to be honest. I think is a big one. Yeah. Yeah. Very important one to me anyway.
Yeah. If this was the last day on Earth ever, what would you do and how would you spend it?
So this is a common question that people get asked. It is actually one that I've never pondered before properly because for me, I feel like it wouldn't be any different for me. I feel like I would just go out, find the things that I really like, whether it's that great milkshake, whether it's a really good burger, whether it's just spending some time with some really close friends. I think I'd just want to go and do those things and, nod at the comet that's on its way to Earth, go, yep, we had a good run, and kind of accept it. You kind of just enjoy what we had, and it's all going to be gone eventually anyway. So I think the normal day is the
true
the answer for me.
True. Yeah. So, in your opinion, what do you think is the worst invention ever?
The worst invention ever. Oh.
Yeah.
Am I going for the bait and going straight for TikTok? Is that what I meant to say?
Whatever you want.
No, I think the worst invention ever. It's a hard one because so many of the inventions we have are so positive and they influence us so well. There are a lot of negatives to things like the internet, but I think the benefits do kind of outweigh the cost at this point still. The things that we get from having something like the internet to bring people together and just the sheer amount of progress we've made technologically with the internet is incredible. The problems we've solved and the crises we've averted and acknowledged and shone light on. So, there's the obvious ones like things like TikTok, like things like the internet, but the worst invention ever. You know what? I'm going to go with those dental drills that clean your teeth and scrape off like the first layer of your gum. That sucks. Every time that sucks. And you know what? Yeah. I can't stand them. And if they didn't exist, my teeth might not be better off for it, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it.
So what would you do with $500,000?
$500,000. Ooh. I think it would just be support the streaming thing right now. I think I'm in a really happy place where all I need is to filter out all the extra responsibilities and focus on what I want to do with streaming. Like it's kind of the path to the dream career. And I think I'm kind of at the moment where I'm at. I'm doing what I want to do. And I think the only thing that would assist is, letting me quit a job and giving me the financial security to keep working on all the stuff that I want to and get the skills together that I want to. So $500,000, that's going to go a long way to doing that. Yeah. And I think that gives me quite a few years of building up, the stream and working on my video editing skills and all that. And I think for me, it would just go to maintaining assisting for sure.
So besides gaming, what is one thing you spend a lot of money on?
Oh god. So I've gotten, ever since COVID, I really got into collectibles, anime related ones, as well as a few gaming related ones, but mostly anime. And unfortunately, I have gone in deep, and I have a very large amount of money put into my anime figure collection, my manga collection, and the collectibles collection. So, like I said, I've got a ton of Pokeballs, the collectible replicas from the Wand Company. If you've ever seen those ones, those are incredible. I love the designs.
No, never seen
and
them.
I'm collecting, trying to get all of them together. They're a little bit pricey, but they're really, really nice. And they're official Pokemon collectibles. You don't get a lot of Pokeball official collectibles that aren't toys, right? You can get the toys, but the replicas are hard to find. So I've got those. I've got some like nice fancy figures. I've got a couple that are worth a little bit too much money. If anybody in the collectible scene knows what the freeing bunny girls are, those bunny girls are very expensive but incredibly nice. And as a collector in the anime figure scene, you know what's up if you've got bunny girls.
Okay. Do you have anything from Fullmetal Alchemist, which is my favorite anime of all time?
It's my favorite too. It's literally my favorite of all time.
Nice.
It is incredible. I grew up. It's the first anime that I watched as an anime, knowing full well that it was. Yeah. And it peaked straight to the top of my viewing experiences. Movies, anime, TV shows, whatever. And it stayed there pretty much the whole time. I don't think there's anything that consistently has peaked above it. Right? There's some experiences that have peaked above it, but the overall story. So yeah, I've got the art book from it. I've got the watch. I've got the Ed's watch that has the carving in it.
Oh my god, memories.
Yeah, I've got that. I've got two tattoos related to Fullmetal Alchemist. My big chest piece is Fullmetal Alchemist themed. I've got the homunculus tattoo as well from it's Envy's one. So it's basically on my leg in the same place that Envy has.
Oh yeah.
It is the sin that I most closely relate.
Sorry, you're naming them, but I've only seen it in French. So, but I do remember.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but the one on the leg.
Yeah. I know which one you mean. Yeah.
Exactly. So no, it's incredible. I don't actually think I have any figures from Fullmetal Alchemist because I'm saving to buy a really, really expensive one.
Okay.
I think once I get that'll be my big centerpiece. Because I've already got the tattoos, because I got the other stuff like the books and things. I've got the full manga collection, but I'm saving the money on the figures at the moment because they're gonna get expensive, and I know that, but I'm kind of worth it.
Yeah. So what's one of your all-time favorite songs?
Oh, all-time favorite songs. Oh, there's some good memories from, songs like, speaking of GTA, I remember flying a car through the desert in San Andreas and just having those radio stations playing, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's just a core memory for me. Flying over, the sun setting, you're in a desert, you're in a flying car for who knows what
flying
reason.
Cars, yeah.
Yep.
Memories.
And you just got Toto's Hold the Line playing as you're just floating through the sky, not a care in the world. You're a kid, so nothing matters, and it's just such a core memory of remembering, doing all that. And Toto's Hold the Line. It's a great song. It always gets the energy pumping. It's the blood pumping, and it's a fun song. And then again, it depends on my mood though to give you like one. So that's a big fun memory. I think there's songs like Linkin Park's Numb that defined so much of my existence, right? That kind of, I think a lot of us share that sentiment. I don't think I'm alone in that. I don't think it's a niche pick, but I think there's songs that you can't deny had a massive influence on you, and something like Linkin Park's Numb, and like Welcome to My Life from Simple Plan, weird stuff like that. So yeah, and I gotta, Linkin Park's just a classic, and I think I gotta, if I'm gonna talk music, I'm gonna get to Linkin Park, and Numb is one of the big ones. That I have to shout out.
Mine is from GTA as well. It's
nice.
Midnight City by M83.
Yeah, no, I know it. Yeah, that's a great
It's my
song.
all-time favorite song. So
Hell yeah. No, good
Yeah.
choice. Good choice.
yeah.
It is. It's got a great energy to it. Has like a good bop, and you can like bump your head to it very
Oh
nicely.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's great. The memes out of that song as well are really good. There's a lot of
Yeah.
memes attached to that song. So
Is
they're
there?
fun as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah, since we're talking favorites now, what's your all-time favorite movie?
Oh, okay. So movies are interesting for me. Again, it defines, it's the mood a little bit. And I think without a doubt, it's really hard for me to go away from, obviously, as a nerd, as a dude who went and got to watch it in the movies.
Yeah.
The Lord of the Rings is the obvious choice there, right? I think
nice.
for me, I think Lord of the Rings, any three of them, Return of the King, if you must make me pick. But
Okay.
it's obviously it's another one of those ones that's defined cinema for me. It sits there at the top, like Full Metal Alchemist. If I think movie and I think best, I think Lord of the Rings. It just kind of hits that mark. It's amazing. There's so many other movies that I also enjoy, but what I go back to every time, it's just got to be. I love Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's,
Sad they didn't do the 5th and the 6th. Sad.
I know. It is sad. It is sad.
To me,
Apparently
it's
there's more, but
I hope
what's
they
yours?
do it.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, hands down.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah. Very good one. I grew up with Harry Potter as well, so yeah, they're very big. Any specific one that is your favorite?
5th one.
From
and the 7th part 1.
Yes, like part 1. Wow, part 1 as well. Nice. Very based picks. That's some interesting picks, because for me it's like Goblet of Fire.
Basically, Goblet of Fire scared the shit out of me as a kid because of like Voldemort's like when they close up on Oh yeah, but Goblet of Fire is in my top 3. I love it.
Oh god, yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. And I have to send you a picture of the singer Lord from the New Zealand singer. Yeah, they made the photoshopped Voldemort's face into her picture. So I need to send it to you.
Oh god. Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
In the meantime, what's the worst video game you've ever played?
Oh. So for me, I got into a bit of a phase of achievement hunting, where basically you just go in, you try and complete games specifically to get as many achievement points as possible. I don't know if anybody ever watched, in your audience, they ever watched Achievement Hunter, but they used to go around and get achievements for games. They used to have guides for those sort of things. And I was also, one of those people who went and hunted achievements through Xbox video games. And being a Halo fan, I ended up on the Xbox side of the fence. But I played a whole heap of absolutely crap games that nobody's ever bothered with and never even heard of. And honestly, some of them are just completely slipping my memory at the moment. But the worst one, there's a couple of dumb ones. I think the worst one for me, and the one that left the most sour taste in my mouth, because I love this property, I love the IP so freaking much, but the game, all I did was jump into it. I just saw that Lord picture that you sent me. Amazing. Yeah, that's really, really funny. Oh my god. And it fits. I could see Voldemort releasing the top sad boy hits of 2024. It could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen.
I mean, yeah.
But for me, it's that Avatar game, the Avatar: The Last Airbender game, back on Xbox 360. I think it was the Burning something.
Wait, which Avatar? The Avatar: Last Airbender or the Ubisoft Avatar? Okay.
No, the Last Airbender. Avatar: Last Airbender.
Oh yeah, no, because I love James Cameron's Avatar, the game, a lot.
Yeah, I've heard that game's
the
really
initial game, not the new game.
Oh, okay. I've never actually played the initial game. I heard the new one is really cool.
You should. No. The first one, I need to find like a cleaner copy because like my old one on Xbox 360 is like, I've overplayed it, like burned the hell out of it. So
yeah, there's no information left because you've already burnt it all to the crisp.
But no. Like the disc is damaged. So
no, that's the worst. Yeah. I had some disc damage back in the day as well, but Avatar: The Burning Earth was that game, and I jumped in it. We played it for 5 minutes. I got all the achievements. I got 1,000 points, and then I just stopped it. because I had no intention of playing it any further, and
Okay.
it's probably one of the worst games through sheer like negligence on my part.
Okay.
But yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if your life was ever to be a video game, what would it be named and why?
Oh wow. Life as a video game. What would it be and how?
What would it be named?
Do I get to choose? Yeah, do I get to choose the like genre of it, or do I have to stick with my life?
You can do whatever you want. You can choose whatever you want.
Because for me, I'd want to make it, you know, some sort of superpower thing, but I think I'd have to think of a title. I'm not very good at coming up with titles for things, so I think for me it would be The Funny Man's Experience.
Okay.
Life
Funny
in
Man's Experience.
World.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I don't know, because it's for me it's like it's I like to bring light to a lot of the, you know, boring and silly things in the world, and like for me it's the boring stuff isn't going to cut it, so we're going to have to go and find some cool things, and I think you know, in a Simpsons hit and run kind of way, let's go out and get it. Let's have some fun.
I love Simpsons.
So I think it's got to be, if I'm going to have a game that's going to be fun, we're going to do something like that.
Yeah.
We're going to do something like that.
Fun fact, my dad is like a carbon copy of Homer Simpson. Not
No
kidding.
way.
Not kidding.
Really? Oh, that's so good.
Not kidding.
I love it.
So, from these three, coffee, tea, or hot chocolate, what would you pick?
Oh, hot chocolate. Hands down. I've been a lover of hot chocolate ever since I was a kid. In the cold months, I've always loved them. Marshmallow or without, I don't mind. But hot chocolate, 100%. I drank a lot of tea as a kid. Coffee was never really my thing. Cold brew is really good. Takes the bitterness out, but hot chocolate wins out, hands down.
So, what about soda, juice, or sparkling drinks?
Oh, soda is probably the top for me. I think soda's really like, there's just something about a nice carbonated beverage, you know. I think sparkling water is just, I can't do it. But yeah, and juice is great, but nice good Coke. You know, after a long hot day, and you drank a lot of water during the day because you have to drink a lot of water. But yeah, it's just too good, you know.
Yeah, I can't do sodas because I just like stopped them, cut them out of my system since 2021. So I take sparkling any
good
day.
on you.
Yeah.
Good on you. Yeah. No, very good
in the morning,
because,
some people drink milk, some people drink water. I drink juice in the morning.
Yes, I do juice in the morning as well. I do try and do juice in the morning. Apple juices. Good stuff.
So here's a question you're gonna love. If you had one special superpower, what would it be and why, and how would you use it?
Let's go. So I really liked it's a movie with the guy from Star Wars in it, and I've completely forgotten the name of it right now. Jumper is one of like my favorite like guilty pleasure movies.
Yeah.
And it's about a guy who basically gets the ability to teleport. And he can teleport around, and he uses it to like, you know, basically get into a bank and get all the money that he needs to live like a really, you know, extravagant life. And then there's Samuel L. Jackson's chasing him down, hunting him, trying to take him out because he goes around the world hunting these people. It's from like 2009 or something, or like 2007. But it's so much. I really like it, and it kind of sold me on teleportation. I would love to be able to fly. But the things that he does with teleportation in that, I feel like I could make it.
No. Like, seriously, teleportation is my power. Like, I want to choose it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the teleportation, you should give it to people who know how to use it. Like, for example, you earn it. You don't learn it. Like, you earn it. If you do something in life, and if you're like up for it, you should definitely be able to teleport. And it shouldn't be illegal. Yeah, it shouldn't be illegal.
No, of course, yeah, it'd be awesome, and I think there'd be so many benefits to being able to be able to teleport. I think cut out so much travel time. You can do cool things with it as well. People say, but you could check out flying instead, and I'm like, no, teleportation. Just teleport into the sky, and then you get to have like, you can basically whenever you want can do a skydive, and you're basically just sorted. Every time you want to go for a skydive, teleport up, have a good time, and then there's no risk of danger. Because you can just teleport out of the way when you're about to hit the ground. It's great.
Or fall in the water. So.
And yeah, fall in the water, exactly. There are things you can do. I think conservation and momentum will be a bit of a tough one to work around. So hopefully the rules work in our favor on that. But you can figure it out. You can figure it out. So,
Okay, so if you could choose where you would be born, what country would you pick or why? Mine would be Ireland.
Oh, Ireland. Interesting pick. Why Ireland? I'm curious.
I like the culture. I like the area. I like what they do. I just like Ireland. What
Of
about
course,
you?
yeah. I would love to visit there. I haven't been, but Ireland is absolutely on the top of the list, like up there in the top of the list for my like places to explore when I'm back over in the Europe region. But I think for me, honestly, I'm pretty happy with Australia. I think Australia has I hate the heat. It really frustrates me, but the right places in Australia are some of my favorite places in the world. I'm half Swedish and I've lived a little bit in Sweden. I actually really like Sweden. The countryside of Sweden is lovely. And I think the only thing that kind of hurts Sweden for me is the darkness. It is way too dark in Sweden for way too long during the year. So I love it, but I don't think it's the place for me to live. I think for me, Australia, the southern part of Western Australia, is honestly one of my favorite parts in the world. My favorite place in the world is down there in the southern part of the southwest. So yeah.
So we're down to the final 3 questions.
Okay.
Who's your all-time favorite celebrity crush?
Oh my god. The recent one has been Anya Taylor-Joy. I really like a lot of the movies she's been in. I really enjoyed The Queen's Gambit. I think it was a really, really good TV show. It's one of my like favorite TV shows, just as like a popcorn guilty pleasure kind of thing. I think it's really good quality as well, but I don't think it's many people's pick. But yeah, I think she's really cool. She's got a really cool like kind of personality. The characters she's played have been really interesting. So yeah, it's a big one. Celebrity crush. As a kid, I really liked the Olsen twins.
Oh wow,
Mary Kate and Ashley. I used to have like the biggest in like year 4 or something. I used to have the biggest crush on like Mary Kate and Ashley. It was the weirdest thing.
Okay.
And I don't even know why. My dumb little boy brain was like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Did you know that they have video games?
What? Wait, what?
Yeah.
No.
They do have video games.
No way.
I swear, I saw Call Me Kevin play them.
They freaking on Game Boy Advance. Sorry, I had a quick Google while we're just chilling, but like,
yeah.
Oh my god, that is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go and. I'm so curious of what those even like are as video games.
Oh my god!
I'm sure they'll be unplayable to play, but
no, they might be playable if you have a good emulator. But
sure.
There is one about photography and stuff, so it's funny. There's also one about a dance competition. So
of course there is.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's great. But yeah. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Mine would be Charlie Puth and Kat Dennings.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, nice.
Kat Dennings, it's like, I really love her acting, like her voice, her talent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Charlie Puth is like, he's hot.
Yep. To completely agree.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so since the new year has been here for a while, what are some of your plans for 2024?
I have a couple of plans for 2024. A lot of them relating to the content creation sphere. I want to do a lot more with my YouTube channel. I'm working on learning how to do editing at the moment, and I think it was one of the promises I made to myself that I would put a significant amount of effort working on creating videos and creating kind of that evergreen content that can be there for people past the streams and the live content. I think is my skill set. I think I work really well in the Twitch sort of sphere, and I really enjoy what I'm doing with that. But I think I need to do more, and I want to do more. I'm motivated to do more, and I think YouTube is the place to do that. And I think That's one of the things I want to do a lot more of. With Twitch, I want to do a lot more events. I want to do a lot more big things for people to enjoy and look forward to.
Yeah.
And that is a big one for me. I think for Twitch last year, it was a lot of learning what the whole platform is, what I can do within that. And now it's taking all that information I learned in the first year and trying to take it to that next level, right? The going live and starting a stream, I can do that now pretty comfortably. I feel like I can just pull a stream out of nowhere and have a good time with it, and we can have a good couple of hours, and I can have that little game show aspect. But I want to do. I never want to have that be the status quo. I want to do more than that always, and I think more events and more content creation is gonna be the key to that. So,
using just one or two words, how would you describe 2023?
2023. A learning experience.
Mine would be fuck off.
Yeah. That was 2020, all right? I stuck with that on 2020 for sure. But no, fair enough. I think I'm happy that 2023 is over. I had a lot of things that I had to learn kind of personally, with some health related things. I had to learn a lot about the Twitch streaming sphere. I had to learn kind of get out of the rut that I think everybody got put into with COVID. And I think learning experience, or fuck off is another way to put it. I think it's a fair and apt description of 2023. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, you still there? I don't know if I lost you.
Oh, sorry. I was muted. Sorry. So
no, you're all good.
The last question is, what event impacted your life in the last 4 years?
Okay. There is the obvious answer, right? And I think everybody was affected by that. I think for me, could you say the question again so I get the answer right? Because I have an answer in mind, but
What event impacted your life in the last 4 years?
So, again, I think to bring it back to streaming, that has been the event of
the highlight,
getting into it, and the highlight has been, Twitch streaming in general. And one of the big ones was I got rated by a really big channel, and
oh wow,
it was a big thing, or like big in terms of reference to me, and I think the motivation that I was given from that. The streamer came in and they literally jumped in, kind of as a chatter. They wanted to know what I was up to, and they wanted to know what the vibe of the stream was, and they just threw a message in the chat and they were like, "Hey, how's Apex going?" And I did my normal thing and I went, "Hey, how's it going? Welcome in. How you doing, Tifa Jesse? I have no idea who you are, but I'm going to welcome you in, and I hope it's going really, really well with your day, and let me know, how you're enjoying the stream."
Okay.
And then, a couple of minutes later, she drops in with 700 people. And this was New Year's Day of 2023. And the response from that, the positive response from her community, everybody knowing that I was a relatively, a very small streamer at that point. And that all they did was encourage me. All they did was be as kind as they possibly could. And the wholesomeness of that community really, really defined like exactly what I want to do with streaming. And I think in terms of an impact on, how I go about every time I'm like doubting myself on something with stream, or, the motivation for it or whatever it is, that event reminds me that there are really cool people out on this platform and they're doing really cool, positive things. And, there's personalities and there's so much to the streaming thing. And there's people that clout chase, there's people that do whatever else, but there's some people there that are just so genuine and so kind. The motivation I got and the encouragement I got from her and her community really, really had a massive impact on my streaming. So that's Tifa Jesse, an Apex / shooter streamer, and she does awesome fun content. She's super energetic. And really funny, and I never even had heard of her until the raid. And funnily enough, the person I was playing Apex with was like, "Hey, I know this person. I watch her streams all the time. She's great. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And I was absolutely, pooping myself. I was terrified with 400 people in the chat, because obviously grades will drop off. But I think we ended that stream with like between 150 and 200 people, and that was a couple hours later, and so many of them hung around. So many streamers that had jumped in from her chat just checked in and was like, hey, like, love what you're doing here. This is awesome. And it really encouraged me. And I think, keeping the ego out of it, because I don't want it to sound like, like they told me I was doing really good, so I am really good. It was more like they encouraged me and inspired me to keep. Yes, exactly. That pep talk was huge. And then there's countless other examples within streaming of lovely people, either donating massive amounts of money that's like insane, and it's an experience that completely changes your mindset on how this world works, right? But those things, I think, come second to the encouragement you get from a really positive person.
Yeah, of course. So speaking of like incredible people, we have to shout out the lovely, amazing Slack Jeff. How did you meet him?
Yes, Slack Jeff is amazing. He's a lovely person. For me, I can't remember who rated who. I think it was me rating into him, and I think the key memory I have with Slack Jeff and the cool fun thing we had was, I think we just rated in and had like we were playing, I think it was Lies of P, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh my God, yes, I was there.
Yeah, I think it was. And we jumped in. He was, we're doing our usual thing. We ended the stream. We're having a good time. Lies of P is an amazing game, so I was energetic as hell. And we jumped in and we saw that he was maybe like, I think it was like 3 or 5 followers away from 1,000 followers, which is which for any streamer is a pretty big milestone. And I did the thing of like, hey guys, this guy's got amazing energy. We got in, he welcomed us. He was kind. He had amazing energy. He kept talking, and it was awesome. It was really cool. And I told everybody to follow, right? I was like, guys, this guy's amazing. Like, make sure that you're visiting this guy again. Don't let the raid just be this one-off thing. Because sometimes it can be with a lot of streams. But I saw something cool here. And yes, I made sure that everybody was like following, and I encouraged the hell out of them. I followed myself, of course, for him. And we got it to 1,000, and he was just genuinely so over the moon and happy and thankful for all of that it literally made my entire week.
I do remember that. And I vouch for that, not because I'm his mod, but like he's an absolutely fantastic person. Like, I didn't even ask for a sword. I didn't even ask for anything. I claimed VIP because I just like worked my ass off of it on his channel. I got like the points. Then he approached me about asking me to be a mod, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is a cool place to hang out. So you know what? I'll do a bit more. And no, I think he deserves all the love and attention that he gets with his streams. He's been killing it lately. I think from that time, the numbers on his stream have been amazing. Like, I'm so impressed with what he's been doing, and I think he deserves all of the growth that he's been getting, and the effort that he puts in is warranted with that. Like, it's the growth is warranted to the amount of effort that he puts in. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So with this being said, now we're gonna jump into like a more serious topic, the mental health side of things. In this segment, we're gonna talk about, of course, mental health, some sensitive subjects, and I apologize in advance for any heavy or triggering terms that might be used. Mental health is not an easy subject to talk about. Today we're going to speak about depression, anxiety, and panic attacks, as my guest chose. And he has had a lot of these happen to him. So I'm going to say this again. Please, some subjects might seem triggering or heavy, so be well aware as you listen. And feel free to either skip or dip out of this segment if you feel uncomfortable about some subjects. This also applies to future episodes too, so listen at your own risk and will. So Xylian, you told me you had like experiences with depression, anxiety, and panic attacks.
Yeah,
Can you tell me some of these
absolutely.
experiences?
So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us can relate on these ones. I
Yeah,
think these are pretty common experiences for a lot of people, right? Whether they have
yeah,
a short bout and a little bit of a battle with depression. I think a lot of people in their teenage years really struggle with that. I know I did, and I think with things like anxiety, I think those crop up a lot more than people kind of want to truly acknowledge. I think sometimes people want to stuff it down to being, they're not very social, or they're not able to handle these big situations. And I think there are other elements that influence that quite a lot. And anxiety can be one of those that people don't have a big control over sometimes when it starts up, and it can be a really scary thing and a hard thing to deal with.
yeah,
So yeah, I think for me, anxiety, weirdly enough, has been a more recent thing. I think depression was the one that I struggled with the most when I was younger. And then more recently, in recent years, the last like 5 or so years, maybe a little bit longer, I've had a lot more experience with the symptoms of anxiety, and things like panic attacks. So yeah, I think for me, as kind of as early as I can remember, I noticed that I was really happy when I was doing cool things, but then when I came back to kind of reality, and I kind of slowed down, I just had this sense of like, I don't really like everything. I'm not happy. I'm not able to put the energy into things that people seem to around me just do. And so yeah, when I was younger, especially in my teenage years, in school, I think I had a few negative school experiences. I wasn't exactly popular. I didn't really fit into any groups.
Same here. Yeah,
And yeah, I think it's something that a lot of us on the internet can relate to. I think a lot of us, creatives can relate to. And yeah, I think it just kind of hung a heavy weight on me. And yeah, from there, I kind of always have had that weight there, as energetic and as crazy and fun loving and as positive an outlook as I try to have. The truth is that like I do also have that side of me that makes it hard to get out of bed in the morning sometimes. It makes it hard to put the energy into things that I want to do very actively, even committed myself to do. Because yeah, ever since then, through some negative experiences, through some things that brought me even further down than my somewhat, I guess, negative baseline, I've just never really completely solved that problem. I've just been able to manage and mitigate it, and you learn how to deal with a lot of the symptoms that affect you as a person who experiences those depressive symptoms. So
yeah,
yeah, for me, ever since I was a teenager, pretty much, have always had that weight. And then, yeah, I think I had my first major experiences with anxiety. I've always had that little bit of anxiousness, whether it was jumping up in front of the class and being really nervous and shaking while trying to read something in front of everybody. I think that's a reasonable amount of anxiety, and I wouldn't call that, a diagnosable level of anxiety. Mm-hmm. But in terms of like what I would consider a diagnosable level, I experienced a lot more I think it was the end of 2017, 2018. I was in Sweden actually, and I had some relationship problems. I had a very complex kind of life situation, and for me, those things all culminated in me not being able to basically process and handle those influencing factors, all of them stacking up at the same time. And that all built up in Sweden. I think a little bit of the influence of the darkness, the seasonal depression, as it is often kind of described, and is a diagnosable disorder, or seasonal affective disorder at the very least. That really, really brought me down into a bad place, mentally, and then all of the weight of all of those things really set me off into a bit of an anxious spiral. And yeah, I was traveling throughout Europe to go and get a tattoo, and I remember being in, I think it was Barcelona for this tattoo, and it was just this subway. I was sitting in a subway, and the whole world and it was a normal day. Nothing set me off. Nothing, was I didn't get a message saying somebody had done something or said something. It wasn't anything like that. It was just I was sat there with the weight of my thoughts, and it all just crumpled in on itself, and I felt the weight of the world close in, and everything the surrounding vision that I had for the rest of the world completely evaporated, and I had the tunnel vision that I am sure some people have experienced with things like anxiety and panic attacks, and it brought everything to this tiny little focus point, and I couldn't budge, and I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything about it, and I was stuck there frozen with just this overwhelming weight of this prickling sensation that was, my senses were not working properly, and yeah, it was, it was a panic attack. I think I was stuck there.
That's what I was gonna ask you next. Like, can you tell us a little bit about the experiences with you in the panic attacks or with the panic attacks?
Yeah, for sure. These days, I think that one, it kind of scared me straight into like really working on it, right? It really shattered my concept of how much control I had over my mental, because up until then, with things like the depression and everything like that, I felt like I'd mitigated and I'd gone to some dark places, but I'd made it out of it. And I had control in so many of those really, really dangerous situations. Even if I'd lost it for a little bit, I got it back. This was the first time where I felt like I'd completely lost it. And I didn't know how to get it back. And for me, in that moment, I think I was sitting there for like what felt like hours, but it might have been minutes, just sitting there going over in my head, what to do. And luckily, before this time, I'd gone to uni and I'd studied psychology. So I'd had a little bit of experience with the idea of grounding and certain techniques you can use to assist in mitigating and managing panic attacks. So I luckily knew the concept of grounding, and I was stuck there for a little bit, and then eventually the thought popped in my head that, okay, well, let's bring this back to reality. Let's bring this back to my senses and what I can see and what I can visualize and taste and touch. And that was kind of what got me out from completely going down and like completely losing myself from that pinpoint. And so I think for me these days, that really helped me. It really worked for me to grasp the reins again and get back into control, which has always been a bit of an important thing for me. And these days going forward, it's the same thing: mitigating, managing, acknowledging when I'm getting stressed, acknowledging when I'm feeling the weight kind of closing in on me. I can see it from a much further distance now, where initially when I was starting to learn and deal with anxiety, I had months riddled with fear of having another panic attack.
Oh, and, that sucks. I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that, yeah.
Yeah, if you've experienced this as well. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're welcome to share on if you want to share on that. Because
I mean, there was a few months last year where I like felt like I berated myself. I like beat myself down because like of where I live, the economy situation. I went extremely crazy on being frugal because I didn't want to like spend a lot. I thought I'd save up, but at the same time I wasn't able to get out of here because not only because of the situation, but because of like my parents asking me not to do anything because my mom is working on getting her American ID and I don't want it to mess with anything.
And influence and affect that.
Yeah, so I came to a point in September where I'm like, why the hell am I doing this? Like, okay, listen, liven up, pipe down, and just focus on what you love. So I got myself a few things for setup. I got like fiber internet, I got a camera, I got like everything. So I now just need to upgrade a few PC parts and I'm set.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. It does feel like it's like sometimes it comes to that like breaking point where you're like, I can't do this anymore. Like I know I can't. And you've been and you can acknowledge that for months, knowing that you're in the spiral. But eventually, I obviously let me know if this kind of resonates with you. But I've had the same kind of experience in terms of getting to that point and going, I'm done.
Especially me with like impulsivity. I do stuff sometimes out of impulse without even thinking, and then the consequences hit me, and I'm like, shit.
You're like, oh, damn it! Like, why did I do that? And I'm like, I was in control at the time. Like, I was doing it, but that inhibition just wasn't there, and it's it's tough. It's tough. But
Yeah.
acknowledging, I think, is the big thing. I think
Yeah.
being aware and like practicing that. I mean, recently in the past, few months since then, have you been continuing practicing and working on that, acknowledging the risk factors that lead you down those paths, and do you have those sorts of stopping gates?
Yeah, 100%. But
Yeah.
there's one thing I want you to like ask. I want to ask you actually before we end.
Oh, totally.
If you happen to like want to tell anybody that's like suffering with these things, with these kind of experiences, what would it be? Like, what would you tell them?
I think big ones, especially with depression, and I think anxiety as well. This also applies to is like you aren't alone. And I know it's people say it all the time, and people kind of tout it as this like kind of like cliche thing to say for that. But I think genuinely remembering the truth of that is super important, even if it's cliche. Some things are just inherently true, and brushing it off as cliche isn't fair to it, because the power of going to talk to somebody, going and getting either professional help or having somebody to confide in, and not putting the pressure on them to fix it, but at least getting it off of your chest can be an extremely powerful thing, an extremely useful thing. So yeah, you're not alone, and I think help is out there. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Those things are cliche, but so true and need to be remembered and acknowledged, because without those things, it's not worth going to all the extra like, oh, I have this milkshake in the morning, like I have this like fruit juice in the morning, and I go to the gym. It's like, remember, like you aren't alone, and you've got more there for you.
Yeah.
So
So there's like a funny little question that's been like on my mind lately, like since the last segment. What Pokemon do you relate to, like in depression wise?
Oh, if it was Palworld, it'd be the Depresso. But no, I think for me, that's a really good one. I haven't thought about it in like that sense, but the first one that comes to mind, I think, is Snorlax. I think Snorlax is very relatable.
Yeah.
I think we all have a little bit of a Snorlax in us, and sometimes that Snorlax is a massive, giant Snorlax that is weighing us down, and we feel like we're under the Snorlax sometimes, or the weight of us just kind of holds us into that sleeping, resting, tired kind of state. And I think it's the one.
Yeah, I also relate to Psyduck in some sort of ways, because I get lost. I get lost a lot. I have migraines every now and then, which is why I named my Psyduck Migraine.
Migraine?
Yeah.
That's good. And Psyduck's relatable. I'm sorry that you suffer migraines. They are very tough. I've had a few myself.
It's fine, but thank you for the time, Xylian. Guys, go check out XylianPlays. It's actually the episode title. That's his handle on Twitch. So you're gonna love his content. You're gonna love his energy. You're gonna love hanging out in his chats. I don't even have time to just like scratch my head, so I'm not there much, but I will try to be there. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next episode. So take care of yourselves, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.